Did you know the Old Testament has a superhero in it straight out of the Marvel Comics? Yes, it does. His name is Sampson. Now, I've always thought that the Sampson story was a bit ridiculous. He kills over 1,000 people with a jawbone of an ass. He ties fires to foxes' tails after he captures them and let them run through the crops to destroy the Philistines' crops, which Peter should really look into that. And then he's so stupid that he keeps telling Delilah his secret, even though she kept showing that she's a liar. She must have had some really good poom poom for him to do that. The poom poom is undefeated. That Philistine poom poom. So I always thought the story was ridiculous. And one of those things that happened in the story that I thought was ridiculous was the fact that it talks about when he was dehydrated and fatigued and he came across the carcass of the lion that he had previously killed, that some bees had made their nest in the honey, in the dead carcass of the lion. And then he drank the honey from the bees. I always thought that he would have got stung like nobody's business, but he drank the honey that bees, and these bees were eating meat. I've never heard of anything like that until one of the followers of this page sent me some information talking about vulture bees. That's right. They're called vulture bees. They're stingless, although they have evolved to have a tooth so that they can tear meat, but they live inside of the dead carcasses of animals. Who knew? And these vulture bees create a nectar similar to honey from the dead carcass, from the meat. It's called meat honey. I was blown away. So is this proof that the Sampson story can actually be true? What do you guys think? Well, the problem is that vulture bees only live in South America and Central America, Costa Rica, down into Colombia and areas of that nature. So it is virtually impossible that it was vulture bees that actually were in Israel at the time frame, and no vulture bees have ever been discovered in Israel, although they can survive in the desert, but they've never been discovered there. Now, you may say over time, this happened so long ago, they may have gone extinct. But no, there's no indication that vulture bees had ever been in the Levant. Now, if you were to say, well, it's possible that they could have been there, then I'm going to say, okay, it's possible. But the only way that that could possibly happen is that you would have to admit that some traveler was going over to the Americas, trading with the people of Central America and South America. And by hook or by crook, they brought vulture bees back. Now, is there any type of proof that that happened? Well, we do know that the people of Ghana were trading with the people in Central America and North America, Mexico, because the gold-tipped spears that were discovered in in Central America and Mexico, that they have the same gold, that it is the same gold that is found in Ghana. And that is one reason that you can accept that trade was happening. But that trade would not have been going on during the time frame of Sampson. The other aspect of it is the fact that we have found that cocaine and tobacco has been found in West Africa as well in mummies in Egypt. Now, the cocaine being found in the mummies of Egypt lends to the idea that the Egyptians traveled to the Americas on the trade route that goes through the Mediterranean, follows the Atlantic River, which brings you over. And the Atlantic River is a more powerful stream to which hurricanes follow, and then split and go north, go interior into the Caribbean, and then go south. So it goes in three different parts once it reaches over there. It's within the Atlantic Ocean, but it's a more powerful stream. I've been on it before. It's an interesting phenomenon to see. But it comes off of West Africa and goes over into the Americas, and then flows down through South America and comes back around to Southern Africa and back up to West Africa, and you can make your trip around. Now, I believe he was Swedish, I'm not exactly sure, adventurer created a boat that he named the Thor II. And the Thor II was based on ancient Egyptian technology. And he successfully sailed that boat to the Americas. So it is quite possible that if vulture bees got to got to the Levant, it would have had to have occurred during the time frame that the Egyptians were trading with the people in the Americas, which would say, you would have to admit, that Europeans weren't the first ones to get there, that other travelers had already been to the Americas. Now, if that happened, and it would have had to have happened during the time frame of Sampson, so that means that it happened way early in Egyptian history, which the other problem that we fail to realize is that that entire area during the time frame of Sampson was under Egyptian control. So if it happened, Sampson was going around killing the Philistines who were being ruled by the Egyptians at that time frame. You can choose to believe it, you can choose not to believe it, but vulture bees do exist. That is the only way that the Sampson story could have ever happened, is if Egyptians brought vulture bees to the Levant, but for one reason or another, they then died out. But I thought that'll be some interesting conversation for you guys. So have a great day, and always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.